What is up, RotoGrinders? We're back. Yes, All-Star break is behind us. Full throttle to the end of baseball season. Of course, NFL is on layaway as well. It's an 11-gamer, kind of, sort of, somewhat a big boy slate tonight, taking you all the way up the lock, all the way up to first pitch. I think it's 7:05 on the East Coast. 11 games, myself and my pal Bobby Gomes. Pal, it's a wonderful thing. Bobby Gomes, how are things in your world?
Doing good. See, you have a North Face hoodie on. Must be climbing a lot of mountains there in Florida.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I just like it's comfortable. You're not going to believe this, but skiing was never really. Well, I tried it really late in life, and it just was not for me. I didn't take to it. I think you got to learn pizza slices when you're like 6, 7, 8 years old or whatever. But growing up in Florida, I did not take to. I mean, I went ice skating, never figure skating, but ice skating a couple times, like for a birthday party when I'm like in elementary school, whatever, the local skating rink. But that was never something that was stressed here in Florida. How about yourself, Bobby? You can play hockey, right? I imagine, from the Northeast.
Yeah, a little. I can skate a little bit. Skate a little bit for sure. Skiing, I went when I was younger, but I don't really love it. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Just not for you. I figured you're on those diamonds. You're not in the diamond?
No, I used to go on the diamond. I wasn't like this good skier or anything, but I used to like mess around with my friends. We'd go up and ski and stuff. And yeah. I don't love skiing. It's too cold, right? You get snow in your gloves. You know?
It is cold. That's crucial, I think, to the whole thing. You gotta have
partying in the lodge. That's fun.
Is that? Yeah, I've never done that before, but that seems like good times for sure. Yeah. Speaking of skiing, speaking of snow and precipitation and weather in general, going to go ahead and drop Cheap and Just Kevin Roth, drop his weather report here in chat for the people. Nothing terribly alarming or concerning. If anything, I think it's the earlier game that we don't care about. Yellow-orange in Washington. Of course, we're talking about the main slate here on DraftKings, on FanDuel, taking you all the way up the lock here. But we're looking at yellow-green in Atlanta, green-yellow Tampa. You know, Roth is like, hey, we'll take a peek at Radar. You know, he'll be on later on, give you a better, thought process if there's anything that's alarming. And it's yellow-green in Colorado. Colorado, Coors, snow. Not snow tonight, but they are one of the forks in the road as far as tonight's slate, right? 11-gamer. There's one team that has a team total above 5. That's the same team that has a team total above 6. That's the Minnesota Twins. In Colorado, in Coors, everybody else, every other team totals are below 5. Pretty good collection of pitchers, but like all the all-star pitchers are not starting today. They pitched on Tuesday, majority of them. So we'll probably catch them on the weekend or Monday, something like that. But there are best pitchers, I suppose, at the all-star game are throwing baseballs here tonight. Your assessments, your overview here on a Film Friday. I should have mentioned, yes, it's a Film Friday. We can go ahead and drop that first clue for today's film. Bobby loves to play along here. I think you got it last time, if I'm not mistaken. So you're on a hot streak. You've heated up. Get in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Be the first to tell me what I'm talking about. And so or Steelers' choice, whichever you prefer. All right. Am I getting a rock now? Is this happening, Bobby?
You're breaking up for me. I don't know about for everyone else. You're breaking up for me for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that. Hopefully this will get worked out in a second.
First day back, Dean. First day back.
I don't know what's going on with my mic, but I took my. Am I still robotic? Is it clearing up?
No, you're clear now.
Okay. Hopefully that is gone. But I took my laptop into the Apple store to get my screen. My screen had like a big old line down the middle, it wasn't that thick, but I swear everything I wanted to read was within that line. So I finally got that taken care of. It would have been $800 if not for having the whatever it's called, the coverage, I guess is the way you phrase that. But there you go, Apple.
I think I made you buy a $4,500 computer. Yeah,
you bullied me into it, and I'll tell you the truth. I don't quite see the difference. Like I don't game or anything, so. But maybe it's all souped up and it's pretty fast. But I feel like there's, the ones I had previously were perfectly fine and suitable. But Yes, this is not about my laptop. Hopefully that was the only hiccup for the show. Got to figure out my audio stuff over the weekend, but hopefully Apple didn't screw me over tinkering with things, but I think we're good to go going forward. If not, let me know. All right. First clue is Ring, by the way, Bobby. Ring is the first clue for Film Friday Discord. One guess per clue drop. There's no mass multi-entering. Curious what your thoughts here as far as today's screenshot. How we see in the slate, Bobby. Spencer Strider, not an all-star, so one of the better pitchers that's throwing baseballs here on the slate. He's going to get a good chunk of ownership. Tough matchup here against the Yankees. You can kind of make an argument for the Yankees when we talk about stacks soon enough, but curious how you see things. Overview, I guess Minnesota is like the biggest factor when you're digging into this slate. How do you see it?
Yeah, so for me, currently, I think pitching's pretty spread out. Like, there's a bunch of good pitchers, Strider, Glasnow, but you can really pitch anyone. I like Lugo, Castillo. I think these guys are fine. I think there's a majority, like, you can pretty much – I don't really love Strider. Like, I don't think I'll probably be under on Strider. I was planning on taking the risk with the Fried blisters, but now he's out, so that probably would have been a bad risk. And playing some Fried, because I think the Yankees probably would have won that game if Fried pitched.
Revenge.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, I don't really love Minnesota chalk. First day back in Coors. Winds blowing in Coors. Best hitting weather on the slate is in Coors, according to Weather Edge, but I don't know. It's an 11-game slate. Like, do I really want to just be overweight on chalk Coors, chalk Minnesota Twins? Like, I'm probably going to be with the field or under on some of these Twins, or just not playing many 5 stacks of the Twins. I like the Dodgers. I want Shohei. I'm fine with – I think I prefer getting to Glasnow over Strider if I can. Yeah, that's pretty much like mainly how I'm looking at the slate. I want a bunch of Glasnow. I know he just pitched first Milwaukee, but it was a so-so outing too, but I still think he can really perform in the spot. So
they let him throw 85 pitches, which was optimistic. I didn't expect that would be the first number out the gate. He's going to get some ownership. You're kind of getting a discount on him as well to some degree. So Glasnow's in my pool. I have a couple pitchers I like ahead of him, which we'll talk about in a second. In the same game. Can you figure out who that is, Bobby? I like 2 pitchers ahead of Glasnow in the same game. And, yeah.
Yeah, Quinn Priester.
No.
I would imagine.
No, it's not Quinn Priester. No.
In the same game. You're going to have to tell me, yeah. I don't know.
The Astros and the Mariners game. I'm on both the pitchers there. Brandon Walter and Luis Castillo. So, yeah, I love that ballpark for pitchers. We're going to see a big collection of righties for Houston, probably 7. No lineup there just yet. And Brandon Walter, like, I'm not sure he is this good, but he's been awesome so far. The control, impeccable, let's say. 1.2% as far as the walks for Walter, ground ball guy as well. Unlucky for homer to fly ball, 20.5% homer to fly ball. So the ERA is almost at 4, 3.98, which isn't terrible. But the Sierra is 2.97. The xFIP is 2.91. That is the lowest Sierra on the slate. That is the lowest Sierra on the slate. That is the lowest xFIP on the slate. Unless we're counting Shamanaya, but I'm not because he has 3 innings. That doesn't qualify. Seattle's pretty good against lefties, in part because Cal Raleigh's got like a 500 ISO against them, like a 500 WOBA. Which is completely bonkers. Probably not fully sustainable, but I think this ballpark should protect his homer issues as well. 2 walks in 40 innings, if you're counting at home, if you're scoring, if you're trying to figure out what 1.2% walks is. So, yeah, I like Castillo, who's certainly not what he once was, right? He's taken a step back, but I think this is a really clean matchup for him. Against Houston, we are looking at, again, this is projected stuff because no lineups are out just yet on the West Coast. The lefties are Taylor Trammell, he's got some power, but he also strikes out a ton, 33% as far as the Ks. And we're also projecting Victor Caratini, the switch-hitting catcher. Those are the 2 lefties. That's it. And against righties, Castillo's has been good. Almost 24% as far as the Ks, the ISO 122, the WOBA 266. His issue, very, very clearly has been lefty power. And I pick my spots with Luis Castillo. I just think this is the spot to pick. So those are two of my favorite pitchers. And I have no issue pitching them in the same game. I know people don't like that. It kind of kills your upside, but whatever. I mean, 4 points for a win. DK, obviously, FanDuel, you go and run one out there. But did I sell you with those pitchers in your pool? I like both pitchers here. Castillo for Seattle and Brandon Walter, the left-hander here for Houston.
Yeah, Castillo's probably my number 2 behind Glasnow. When you said the same game, I was like 2 pitchers in the same. I thought you were talking about the Dodgers game.
Yeah,
Priester.
No,
Priester would not have been in my pool. Yeah, Walter I think is phenomenal. I like just the case you made for Castillo. I really like Castillo a lot. There are a lot of strong pitching on this slate in general. I like Lugo a little bit for Kansas City versus the Fish there. Your Fish. Don't mind him.
They're not my Fish anymore. We broke up many years ago.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind Lodolo versus the Mets. I know it's more of a tournament dart, but in that ballpark, Mets are obviously a great offense, but I was profiling it. I don't think the Mets really profile the greatest versus Lodolo. And this one's going to be a little tough for me, but Justin Verlander is probably going to make my pool versus Toronto.
Well, tell me why. I got to stop you. Why on Verlander?
Just looking at like the lefties for Toronto and guys that could give him trouble, and it doesn't really seem like there's a ton. I know Toronto was on fire prior to the All-Star break, but I don't know. Verlander's going to be – I'll get a sprinkle of Verlander.
Yeah, I can't go there with that, but I'm more on Toronto. I think they're one of the better offenses, one of the better pivots on the slate if you're getting away from something like Minnesota. You know, a lot of green in the plate IQ. You talk about how Toronto's been hot. Everybody in the green as far as Woba, with the exception of Clement and Wagner. So the 8-9. Verlander, the Ks have kind of gone away. The controls kind of gone away, especially against lefties. 10% walks. That seems to be too high. What are you making? How many lineups are you making tonight? How big is your pool?
I'm making 150. So I currently have a pool of, I would say, around 8 pitchers.
Okay. So can I pick them off? I think it's going to be Strider, right?
He's not one for me. No, he's not.
He's not amongst the 7.
No, he's amongst the 7. Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, I wasn't doing it in order. I wasn't trying to do it in order. But he's in your pool. Strider's
in
your
my
pool.
Yeah.
Strider is coming in at 35% currently on DK. I saw Cam in chat was asking if I will have a Strider team. I will have a Strider team.
I will have a Strider team. That's like not even a. There's no way Dean doesn't have a Strider team tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what else I'm going to have. I'm going to have a Yankee stack in a single entry contest, which just seems like a lot of fun. Nobody's playing the Yankees tonight, especially in single entry. People are afraid to do anything too, off the radar. And the Yankees tonight are off the radar and it's not even like the leverage thing, but it doesn't hurt, of course. Good ballpark. Expect to be like 89 or so in Atlanta. Yeah, there is some leverage there. The Strider stuff, he's been good by most people's measure, not necessarily by his historic measure. I've been watching a lot of his starts. He's, again, the metrics, the numbers look pretty good. The one that really jumps out, that still jumps out, is his average exit velocity. He's in the 2 percentile. Is that an average exit velocity in baseball? That's not the end all and be all. But when people are hitting him, they are hitting him hard. But yeah, I'm going to be playing some Yankees in a single entry contest, and then you can have a good time. Even you could probably run some Minnesota if you want with that. Just I haven't built it just yet, but in my head, it's Yankees with the 2 pitchers I like. There's my lineup. Castillo and Walter. It's Walter, right? Yeah, Walter. Brandon Walter, a person I learned about a month or 2 ago. So the rest of your pool. Strider, Castillo, Glasnow.
Those 3, yep.
Is
Probably
Walter in?
Top 3 in reverse order. Walter's in my pool, yeah, for sure.
I think you can play Ciccone. Slade the Blade.
I'm not on Slade.
Decent case. The Athletics are kind of an all or nothing offense to some degree. If you pull up their stats, especially the back end, we have Muncy in there. We have Clark in there. Clark 39% as far as the Ks. I know Kurtz has been awesome, just annihilating baseballs, especially from righties, but he'll still strike out 32% of the time. And Ciccone in the season, 24% Ks. It's pretty serviceable. So he's kind of sort of somewhat on the fringes. I'm probably not going to get there because I don't make enough lineups, but if I made 20, he's in my pool probably.
I'll add him for you.
What do you got?
I'll add him for you.
I mean, just a pinch. You can just get a smidge. You don't have to go too high, I don't think. Benaya, I'm not going to play. I'm curious. Optimizer stuff, I think, still like Sandy Alcantara because it's based upon historical data. And, man, it's just a tough – for somebody to hand builds lineup still, it's a tough click, Sandy. Sandy Alcantara has just been – it's been a tough scene. And they want to trade him, but his trade value is like, they got to give him away like 60 cents in the dollar the way he's pitching right now. They might just have to wait it out and hope he gets better next season, the Marlins. And I don't know who's trading for him if they're watching him pitch, but theoretically he's going to turn into what was once a really good pitcher or close to it. He's really cheap. Is Sandy? I would play Sandy before I play Verlander. If you want to do like a jelly bean bet, I'll take Sandy against Verlander. I don't feel great about either, but I'll take Sandy versus Verlander. I don't know what the projections say, Bobby. I know you're going to see who has an edge here as far as projections, but I would play Sandy over Verlander. But I guess he's not in your pool. Verlander's your de facto cheapie.
I think I could add in Sandy too. I just, for me, like the main guys that I was kind of locking in on was Luis Castillo, Glasnow, Strider, Brandon Walter, Lugo, Lodolo, Verlander. I can add Sandy. The Sandy's. I like some of these KC bats. I like Witt. I definitely like Salvi. Vinny Pascantino, you could throw in the mix there, but yeah, at 6K, I think Sandy's fine. We'll throw him in the pool. I
like a KC stack too, so I'll go both ways with it. Like you're saying, Witt and Vinny, Sal. I still believe in Cagliano. Yeah. Jack. He's not been great so far, but the
Jackie Cags.
Jackie Cags. Is that what is that his official nickname?
That's his official nickname. Yep.
The rest of it though is such like Isbell and Lofton. It's terrible.
It's not great.
Those guys I can't click on. I'm just kidding. There's nothing. There's no story I can tell, and they're all pinch hit risk too. The nonsense from 7, 8, 9. Sal Perez is still pretty cheap. I know the ballpark stinks, but they're used to that. They're used to a bad ballpark. And they, sometimes they get away with it. Most of the time they don't.
Is Massey in the lineup? He's been horrendous.
No, but he's lurking. Maybe he's lurking. India, of course, leading off, which again, I willingly saying I want Jonathan India to hit more times than Bobby Witt is a choice that the manager is making in Kansas City every night. I want India to hit more than Bobby Witt. Other pitchers that are worth considering. Trying to see who else is of note.
People are going to like Bassett.
It's a lot of lefties, right? How many lefties are you looking at for Sam Fran? I think it was like 5 or 6. And he's got pretty dramatic splits. Ramos, Chapman, Adames, Schmidt, 4. Yeah. And like this lineup's got some pretty good power. Bassett, similar to Luis Castillo, right? Where his splits are really dramatic. You love him against a bunch of righties. 23% as far as the Ks, 98 ISO, that's awesome. 285 WOBA, that's good. But lefties, a 190 ISO, that's not good. A 369 WOBA, that's really bad. I don't know. I mean, and Devers kind of disappointing this season. It's a weird season for him. Maybe he figured out some stuff over the break.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I'm sure Boston must be feeling better about the trade these days. I imagine so. I'm guessing you have boots in the ground, right?
I feel like they were super vindictive in trading him to San Francisco.
Why is San Francisco vindictive?
Just because of how good Chapman is at third, so it's not like he has an opportunity to play third defensively. And then you have like the right field where you have to hit it a mile just to get it out. So
So you think they targeted San Fran to make him look bad the next 8 years? To put him in the worst possible
I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah.
I think it was the only offer they had. I don't know. I mean, they didn't have a lot. I don't think they had a lot of offers. I don't know if many teams even knew this was like a thing that was being floated out there. I don't know. I haven't seen any stories on that, but he's like, was it even known within circles that Devers was available? Maybe, it's like the Luka thing.
For sure it was known that he was available. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was never any rumors about it, but there was, of course, thoughts that he's not getting along in the clubhouse, and he's, they're upset with him not being willing to move to first base.
You don't think when those rumors you start hearing those rumors, the phone starts ringing in the GM's office?
Maybe, but it's like that's typically for a guy that has like a year or two left, but he has 8 years, like 220 million or something like that. That's a tougher conversation to have, but maybe. Yeah, and San Fran sometimes seems to be over, they're willing to overpay. Feels like they've done it. Well, Matt Chapman and Willie Adames, they're willing to overpay for free agents anyway, so I guess it's not a big deal to them. Anybody else as far as pitchers that we need to discuss? Let's see. I'm trying to see if anyone in the chat's throwing any names. That Charlie Morton, he's not been as horrendous as he's been, to start the season. That's a kind thing to say, I guess. Seth Lugo.
Tampa Bay doesn't profile the best versus Charlie Morton, but it's like, what Charlie Morton are you going to get at this point?
Yeah.
Like Brandon Lau is the one that's going to profile the best, and he's not playing.
No, he's back. He was activated today.
Okay.
Yeah, they activated him today. So he's good to go. Hit that refresh button. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that like even ownership stuff is kind of pointing us. Strider, Glasnow, Castillo. Somebody asked in chat as far as cash games. It's 2 of Strider, Glasnow, Castillo, and Walter. It's probably 2 of Strider, Castillo, and Glasnow, I would say. I would say 2 of those 3, with Strider definitely being one of those 2. So Strider, and then 1 of Glasnow or Castillo. I'd probably go Castillo, but I'm not playing cash games, but I have kind of a cash game brain, as Bobby likes to point out all the time.
I love Glasnow, but for what it's worth.
So give me the bonus pitch on Glass. He wasn't great in his first start. I think
he wasn't great, but he's facing Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He basically just faced Milwaukee. If he didn't blind them in his first start, I'd probably be under on Glasnow. He didn't blind them, but I think he's going to blind them in this start. So I'm pretty bullish on Glasnow at 8K. You got the 85 pitches. He probably goes higher. I'm totally fine with Glasnow ahead of Strider, especially for the price discount, almost $1,000 price discount. Like Castillo more than Strider. Strider probably slots in at 3 for me. Then you can make a case for Walter versus Seattle. He'd be 4. Lugo and Lodolo would be behind him. And I like Verlander ahead of Alcantara. You like Alcantara ahead of Verlander.
I mean, it's we're
obviously,
we're going through the dust and trying to see if we can salvage something amongst those 2. But I feel a little better about Sandy. Maybe it's the ballpark. I want to. I feel like Verlander's definitely done. I think Sandy's going to figure it out at some point. By the way, I'm on full tilt. Oh, somebody in chat did mention Manaea. I just don't know about the pitch count with him, right? This is his second start. It's kind of built in as far as his price. He only threw 65 pitches his first time around against KC, 3 1/3. I think we have him 75 pitches. I just don't think that's enough to get me happy. But like he could pitch 5, I suppose. 5 pretty clean. You got to thread a needle to get there for Manaea, but yeah, he
doesn't have that ballpark behind him. It's not like the Reds are the highest ISO team on the slate.
It's just how long does he stick around, and is he not walking people?
The 75 pitches is something that would definitely concern me.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off a pretty serious injury too, so yeah, not too interested in Sean Manaea.
And the Mets are thinking about October, September, right? They're not thinking about today necessarily. They want to build him up. I was going to go ahead and drop the second clue, and I'll drop the second clue for today's Film Friday. But Bobby, you're not going to believe it. we got a hole-in-one. Another hole-in-one. This makes you so angry. I sit down, I make the game, I build the game out. There's a reason why we have an order, and we have a winner on just one clue for Film Friday. We'll play it out. Clue number 2 is Thunder, Ring and Thunder. But shout out to Moki22 for ruining the game. Congratulations. And banking it in one, getting today's Film Friday. Second clue is Thunder, Ring and Thunder. We'll play it out here for funsies. Anything else of note you want to talk about as far as pitchers? You want to give me a summary before we start talking about some of our favorite stacks?
Yeah. Like I said, I prefer Glasnow to Strider. Probably going to be with the fielder under on Strider. Like Luis Castillo versus Houston for all the reasons Dean gave. A lot of righties there. He's only really going to get 2 lefties, I think. So I think that's great. Brandon Walter on the other side of that game, I think, is a nice play as well. I don't mind Seth Lugo versus Miami. It's just a steep price to pay for Seth Lugo at 9,300, but it is the Miami Marlins. If you get around,
he probably doesn't blow your lineup up, and he probably doesn't necessarily, get you away from the pack. He's probably fine.
I wonder what the ceiling is. Get around Stowers, who I think is phenomenal. Miami definitely has a player in Kyle Stowers, and I think he'll be all right. Lodolo versus the Mets at 8,400. Just from the stuff I was going through, I don't hate Lodolo. Mets aren't great versus pitch mix. It's a good ballpark for pitching, so I'd probably choose the Lodolo side over Minaya. And we also know Lodolo's probably going to throw pitches, right? From there, I think there's 3 in the bottom. I like Verlander versus Toronto. I know Toronto's been red hot. Maybe those are – I'm only playing like a little bit of it, but I think he's fine. Sandy Alcantara, like Dean said, versus KC. There's a couple of KC bats that stood out to me, mainly Witt and Salvi. They kind of stink as a stack, but
Tags.
Yeah, those 2 guys are guys that I think can get to Alcantara a little bit. We didn't talk about Charlie Morton, but I think that he profiles well versus Tampa. He's 7,500. I think you can kind of throw him in your mix too if you're playing 150. So those are the pitchers I'm playing.
One of the tougher environments to throw baseballs in there for Tampa. Grayson Rodriguez shut down again from throwing. Is he just not going to pitch this season? He's not going to pitch, right? Baltimore's done. He's probably not going to pitch all season long. Lost season for him. Adley Rutschman and Mountcastle could start rehabbing on Tuesday. So there you go. Just in time to trade players. Probably not Rutschman, but other players for Baltimore. Just got Seattle, Crawford, J-Rod, Raleigh, Arozarena, Solano, Garver. So both catchers playing. Moore, Young, and Williamson. More lineups coming on through. Did want to mention we have a new promo here. RotoGrinders now, they're hooking you up with a little preseason bonus. If you grab the Combo Pro, the 6-month sub, you're going to get full access now through September 1st for free, and your sub will not start until March 1st. That's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, MMA, NBA, WNBA, PGA. I know all those are not in full swing. Essentially every single sport with the exception of NASCAR. You're getting 7.5 months as opposed to 6 months. Essentially, it's free. You can look at it how you want to look at it. It's good till March 1st. So essentially you're getting now into the start of football, NFL, college for free. This promo is only good until the 22nd. So you got about 4 days to act on that. You get the optimizer, SimLabs, the bells, the whistles, the articles, Ross Weather Edge, everything you can think of right before the NFL season gets dialed in. All right. I saw in chat there saying that somebody was saying that I was sniping. I'm like, Adine, where's Adine? Is Adine still hanging out? Apparently I was sniping Adine in the best ball streets. I did draft another best ball team today in full swing, Bobby.
I hate best ball for what it's worth.
You're Bobby Best Ball. How do you hate Bobby? You can't do Bobby Best Ball.
I hate it so much.
Well,
I think I have 50% Rashid Rice.
Oh, well, that, yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of knew that was a risk. You knew that was a possibility.
Yeah.
3 games? We don't know yet, but that's what we're assuming, 3 games?
I'd say 3 games. Yeah. At least 3 games.
Yeah.
You just probably should get an Uber driver, you know?
Well, yes, that's a different conversation, but yes, of course.
I have a question. Did you play golf this week?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
Is Scheffler not inevitable?
I don't know anything about golf. I just follow the RG stuff. I'm a little tilted about it actually because this is so I'm currently winning the 20 entry max chip shot and the 150 max mini max, but I didn't sign up in time to like get in the $5. I don't know where I'd be in the $5, but my team is I'm probably I know
your score currently. I'm interested in what your score is.
341. Is that good?
I just want to check where it is in the milli.
Yeah, I get it's 3. And this isn't like a team I built by myself. I was just using the RotoGrinders tools, and I built 150 of them. But I was kind of bummed that I got blocked out of the $5.
You'd be in 12th in the milli, tied with Ski Basher.
How about yourself? Are you you got anything live?
I'm like 208. I don't know. I have 60% Scheffler though.
I mean, I don't know anything about golf, but I know that guy is ridiculous. He's like minus 150 or something like that to win the tournament after 2 days.
I was going to lock him like fully. Like I had this conversation with my buddy. He's like, we should.
He's 14-2, which again, just if you get the winner at 14-2, he's underpriced, right?
Yeah, the thing is too, like everyone was underpriced below him, like guys like Rory and Rahm. So like all the ownership kind of congested there, and when he probably should be 30+%, he's 25. And a lot like Rahm's 34%. Rory, I think, is pushing 30. So yeah, you get all leverage on those guys. You got to win. The issue is he can't win. He can win and still lose. He can win and not be optimal. So he has to win convincingly, I think.
Ketel Marte placed on restricted lists. I don't know what that is. What's the restricted list? Does that mean he's not playing tonight?
Maybe they call him gambling.
What's the restrict? I know it like paternity, the IL. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I guess that means he's not playing this evening. We don't have an Arizona lineup just yet, but Ruthlessville asking for the cut. I think the cut is +2, if I'm not mistaken. There's a chance it was being +1. I think the likelihood was +2, but don't hold me to it. TJ's talking about it in chat as well. Third clue for today's looks like it's +1. Film Friday. The third clue is Overlook. So Ring, Thunder, Overlook. Bobby, let's talk about today's tiers. Today's tiers category. By chance, did you happen to watch any of the baseball All-Star coverage? Any of it?
I watched a little of the Derby.
Yeah.
I seen Junior Camanero's at bat. It's when he knocked out Buxton. Oh, that was it though. Didn't watch anything else.
Yeah, I watched a good chunk of the home run stuff because I had some live. I don't want to tell. Yeah, nobody cares about my little tilts, but that inch from Rooker really screwed me. Rooker not getting to move on because the tiebreaker was longest home run, and apparently Cal Raleigh, big dumper, had a homer that was an inch further. I would have all four in like an exacta box. I did not have Cal Raleigh, unfortunately, as far as like predicting the finals matchup. Because I had Caminero wheeled with everybody, but never mind. Nobody cares about that. But the actual baseball game, it took forever to figure things out, and they fell behind. And there was a bunch of old dudes that didn't want to change. They crossed their arms. They wouldn't let pitchers stop hitting. But they're finally embracing fun, and I think there were some good things we saw at the All-Star break and the All-Star game. And what I did is I ranked things like who or what had the best All-Star showing. Who or what. So it's people, not just people, but actual things that were implemented as far as the All-Star game. That is today's tiers category. Let me know in chats how you felt about the All-Star game if you happen to watch, if you partook in the viewing experience. But they did implement the replay, the umpire replay stuff. The system worked spectacular. It was pretty awesome. And it's kind of a sweat. Like, you have two calls. I think 2 times you can do it throughout the game. If you're wrong, you lose one. If you're right, you keep them. And like the catcher, can call it. The pitcher can call it. The batter can call it. Tap their head, that kind of thing.
I don't even know what it is. What is it?
Well, it's like you ever see tennis. In tennis, you have the instant replay. You have like 2 or 3 reviews, whatever the number is for tennis, and instantly you'll see like the graphic, and you'll see the tennis ball. Oh, that's in, that's out, and we move on. You know what is that called? The eagle eye or something like that.
Do they do that with the strike zone?
They do that with the strike zone, and they they're talking about, it was a huge success in my estimation. And they're talking about possibly implementing this next year in baseball in real games. They did it during spring training. I think it's an extra layer to add to the game, which would be awesome. How do you save them? Like only certain hitters. Like, I don't care how much you think that ball was a strike. Christian Vasquez, you're not allowed to use it. So only certain hitters are allowed to use it. You got to pick your spots. Save them for the end of the game, that kind of thing.
Christian Vasquez will go long tonight for what's worth.
So it was great. Yeah. And you have some posts, something called a ball. Now all of a sudden it's a walk-off strikeout. It's great. It's good stuff. So that was a huge success. There was a tie. It was 6-6, and they ran out of pitchers. And, famously 20 years ago or so in Milwaukee, I think it was Milwaukee, when Selig was the commissioner, they just called the game a tie, but now they had a homer off, a swing off. Did you happen to catch this?
No.
It was each team had 3 hitters. They had three pitches, and whichever team had more homers collectively wins the game. And that's how that worked. And that was awesome. They had some in-game interview stuff where they were talking to the pitchers, literally as they're throwing. Basically, they were showing the pitchers and the catchers communicating. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I'm not a big All-Star game guy, but the whole thing was pretty spectacular. Ketel Marte's house was robbed. Oh, that sucks. So the restricted list is he's out for personal reasons. Man, that stinks for him. I guess because people knew he was away. He's at the All-Star game. Who didn't have a good All-Star game? Jazz Chisholm. So Jazz Chisholm in the All-Star game went 0 for 3, and he was in the home run derby. And the person with the second least amount of home runs was Matt Olson. He had 15 home runs. How many home runs did Jazz hit in the home run derby? Now, again, the second lowest number was 15. How many did Jazz hit?
6.
3.
3 was my second guess. Yeah.
Why would 3 be your second guess?
I don't know. It actually popped into my head that it might have been 3. Maybe I'd heard it.
So he had a tough All-Star game, and the person had the worst All-Star game, the one I feel that was just horrendous for. If you had Pete Alonso, MVP tickets. Pete Alonso came off the bench. He banged out a 3-run homer. It was 6-0. He's the surefire MVP. It's not going to be some pitcher through an inning. 6-6 game. Kyle Schwarber, who went 0 for 2. He went 0 for 2 in the game, but he went 3 for 3 in the homer walk-off. He was the MVP. That's the only way you lose. And Pete Alonso was the third guy waiting to hit, but he didn't have to because the American League did not tie it. So, yeah, Schwarber hit 3 homers. He was 3 for 3 in the homer walk-off, and that took away all your Pete Alonso MVP tickets. And Kyle Schwarber, who was 0 for 2, MVP. So I feel terrible for anybody that had a Pete Alonso MVP ticket.
Probably just think of the people who probably had them.
I didn't have it. I didn't bet the MVP. I barely bet it. I was just watching it for funsies. Okay, I
haven't watched the All-Star break since it was in Fenway in 1999, Dean.
By the way, TJ says the audacity of him not to give Ohtani or Judge that swing off. One of two things. Either if you're out of the game, you're no longer eligible for the swing off. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were both out of the game.
No, because Pete came out of the game too.
Okay, so here's the second thing. Ohtani and Judge left the game. They were gone. They showered. They probably showered up. They were pulled 4 or 5 innings ago. They weren't there. That's my second guess. Otherwise, yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. Plan B says, Ohtani and Judge, they already left the stadium. Yeah, which you kind of understand. The game's over, whatever. Once they get pulled, what are they gonna do? They're gonna stick around and watch. Anyways, let's throw some teams and some tiers. Let's do it. All right, Bobby. First game we're talking about. Again, we're starting at the 707. Oh, 707. Shout out to Canada. Chris Bassett, the Hound, on the bump against Justin Verlander. Old man Verlander. It's a man. He's 40. He's a Hall of Famer, but we care about today and today only. Today, kind of vulnerable against the Blue Jays, one of the hotter teams in baseball. Where do you want to put the Giants getting that ballpark upgrade against Chris Bassett and the Blue Jays?
We'll put the Giants in in-game review and Blue Jays in home run swing off. Thank you, Steve. Barger's my favorite hitter from the Blue Jays. From the Giants, I like Devers. The BVP stuff versus Bassett, I think's enough to.
Oh no,
Fitzgerald and Devers. I would say.
Were you talking to Chop? What? I don't know the BVP. You say it like everybody knows.
I guess it was pretty good BVP.
It's let's see, 8 for 17. Now, this also checks out with Bassett's vulnerability. Historically, really vulnerable to lefty power. 8 for 17, 3 singles, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 4 strikeouts. So you're a BVP truther. I didn't know that.
I think it's an interesting like check bar, like to check a box. Like why not?
Do it at like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications. That's much appreciated. We got a dime back.
Barely valuable projection. It is barely valuable, but I think like if you want to, basically, if you want to just check a box, it works out.
Make sure when Carty comes on, Carty's coming on later. Somebody has to ask him about the BEP for Devers.
What is Carty playing? What's Yeah, I would imagine he's playing a lot of DFS, right? So
I don't know. I would assume so. I mean, if he's got the bat working, and I'm assuming the bat does not take into account the BEP for Devers versus Bassett, but it is just a good matchup on the plate IQ. Arizona, it's Carroll, Perdomo, Gurriel, Naylor, Suarez. Del Castillo is DHing. Do I know who Del Castillo is? Alexander, Thomas, and Herrera doing the catching. Okay. I'm going to see who Del Castillo is in a second. Let's move on here, Bobby. 10 more games to go. Next one up. It's Cincinnati and the Mets. Sean Manaea, Nick Lodolo, good ballpark to pitch in. I think the Mets are a team that you should at least consider for larger field stuff because nobody's going to play them. Again, that ballpark. If this game was in Cincinnati, it'd be like a 10.5 total, and people would love the Mets. Today, at home, not nearly as much. You tell me, though. Reds and Mets.
Yeah, so for me, the Mets are going to go in the third box in-game interview. The Reds versus Manaea. What Manaea are you getting? I like the Reds will put him in home run swing off.
All right. Curious about Adrian Del Castillo. Did have 26 homers in AAA last year. He's 25 now. Looks like he's a catcher. Is he doing the catching here for Arizona? Like, one of the guys DHing? So I think I said 2 catchers. Okay, yeah, he's doing the DH, but he's actually a catcher. Is he a 2K catcher on DK? That could be useful potentially. He is. Okay, so we got a 2K catcher on DK, who at least in the minors has shown some power. Let's see. Raw power 55 according to Fangraphs. No speed, but that's to be expected there for the catcher. Okay. And is this his MLB debut? I think it is. I think this is his first time playing baseball in the majors. If I'm doing a quick scroll, but I believe this will be his debut tonight. So shout out to him. All right. You got 2 teams in home run swing off. That is Toronto and Cincinnati. And 2 teams right there in the middle. The in-game interview, San Fran and the Mets. Scooting along here. It is it's the Athletics. The Athletics on the road here in Cleveland. Slade Ciccone, JP Sears. Man, this Cleveland team, we talk about all the time how terrible they are against lefties. We didn't mention, are they bad enough where you consider JP Sears? J-Ram looks awesome as a one-off. Angel Martinez as a cheapie works as well. I know Fry historically is supposed to have some power here. This year, not so much against lefties, but really bad. 41% strikeouts. It's kind of small sample stuff, but 41% strikeouts is horrendous. A 68 ISO might be worse. It's both really bad. Also a pinch hit risk when a righty comes in, but he's super cheap. It's a lot of red, but JP Sears is also not very good, especially against righties. A 227 ISO, a 346 WOBA. Man, why would you pitch to J-Ram? It's just like some other teams I think are catching on to that. Like there's no reason to throw him strikes. But if he gets some strikes, I love him as a one-off if nothing else, a little mini with Martinez. How about yourself? Athletics and Cleveland.
I think the Athletics are fine in Jazz Chisholm. I like Nick Kurtz, Tyler Soderstrom. Those would probably be my 2 favorite Athletics. Cleveland, I'd move down to Jazz Chisholm as well. Really just like J-Ram. Doesn't mean I love Sears, though. Like, I get Cleveland's not the greatest team versus left-handed pitching, but Sears kind of stinks himself. So that's where I'd have both teams.
Keith in chat reminded me, yeah, I do remember Del Castillo now last year. He had a cup of coffee, right? He did have 25 games for Arizona with 4 homers. So he did display some power last season. I believe it was like one of those September deals, end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I don't mind that for 2K if you need an emergency catcher. Seth Lugo against Sandy Alcantara. Royals, Marlins, 7.5 total. Royals are slight favorites here. We talked about liking Witt, Vinny P. Sal Perez is pretty cheap. Jack Tags, another cheapie. You were talking about Stowers. Stowers, he had the triple dong last game against his former team. Really vengeful against Baltimore. I'm always talking up Agustin Ramirez. Don't mind Jesus Sanchez. Edwards is just a speed guy, no power. But you say, you were talking about some Royals before. Sandy has been one of the worst pitchers in baseball. It's undeniable. I still believe there's some talent there. But it's hard to make the argument. It's there right now. It's present right now. Kansas City and the Marlins. What do you got?
Basically, for Salvi and Witt, we can put the Royals in in-game interview. Vinny P, you can kind of include in that as well. I think those 3 are very viable, but as a full team stack, I just don't love it. And for the Marlins, Jazz Chisholm, his old team. Kyle Stowers, however you say his name.
Stowers.
Profile is very well. I had +2. I took +2 on his bags. So.
Oh, look! I didn't realize you delve in that world.
I just been playing around, Dean.
Here's a quick way to remember it. He's a power hitter. Power Stour. There you go. You'll never forget it going forward. Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Little mnemonic device for you. Okay. Let's move along. It's the Royals. No, we just talked about the Royals and the Marlins. The Yankees and the Braves, 8.5 total. Spencer Strider versus Ian Hamilton. So this is going to be a bullpen game, which is really weird. A bullpen game out of the, right out the gate, unless they have somebody set up to be a long man that I'm not aware of. For the Yankees, of course, their bullpen is fully rested. Everybody's bullpen is rested with the exception of the few relievers that happen to pitch. And even those guys pitched 1 inning on Tuesday. So every bullpen is, fully stocked and ready to go. Hamilton, I think, is basically a 1-inning guy. I want to confirm that. Yeah, essentially 1 or 2 innings is what we're expecting here. I don't know who the long man is. I have no idea what to expect out of their pen. I'm looking at their guys in the bullpen, and I don't know. It's going to be a mishmash of Yankees, and sometimes I think that's usually bad. When they do matchup stuff, you're more likely to fall into some left on left things. But yeah, you tell me, how do you feel with the Yankees? And then Spencer Strider is the most popular pitcher on the slate. If you look at Strider's stats, he is vulnerable to some lefty power, and I was happy to see Ben Rice crack the lineup. He's got some lefty power. Grisham leading off, Dominguez, Judge is a righty, but of course, if you're stacking the Yankees, by all means, do your best to get there. I like Cody Bellinger a good bit too. No Stanton and no Goldie. That's who's out of the Yankee lineup today. Where you at with the Yanks and the Braves?
Yanks are an in-game interview for me, mainly because of these lefties. You hit on Rice, Grisham, Bellinger, Chisholm, Dominguez. I'm going to be probably under on Strider. So I like the Yankees a good bit. Obviously, Judge you can throw in there as well. The Braves, I was very down on the Braves when Fried was pitching. Fried was probably my favorite pitcher on the slate. If the blisters weren't a thing, I thought he was going to get the win here. And I thought you'd probably get him at low ownership. I'm going to put the Braves just because it's a bullpen game. I'll probably bump them up where I would have had them, put them in in-game interview as well. Yeah, it's probably going to go Jazz Chisholm on the Braves originally.
We are behind on today's Film Friday. We already did get a winner, but let's drop 3 and 4 consecutively if you're playing the home version still. The first 2 clues are Ring and Thunder. Let's give the people clue number 3. That's Overlook. And clue number 4, Island. A rare double clue. Again, we already have a winner, so why not? Let's catch up a little bit. Baltimore, Tampa, Taj Bradley versus Charlie Morton. Chandler Simpson, the speedster, leading off here for Tampa. We got Brandon Lau back in the lineup as well for Tampa. I guess they do the left-right stuff. Caminero kind of Probably shouldn't bet fifth. I think he's possibly the best hitter of this lineup, but it is what it is. Jacob Stallings still doing the catching here for Baltimore because they are struggling as far as catchers. I think he's their fourth or fifth catcher on the season. All their injuries. Where do you have Baltimore and Tampa? 9 total. So, some runs expected here in Tampa.
Yeah, for me, I would put the Orioles probably in home run swing off versus Alcantara. I know the Orioles have been bad, but I'm going to find a way to play them today. Just looking at guys I like from the Orioles. Westberg, I think, is pretty good. Laureano. Don't mind O'Hearn. Gunner's just been horrendous, but he's fine. Jackson at the top. So put them in home run swing off. Tampa versus Morton. Brandon Lau is really the guy I like the most. I'm putting Tampa in game interview. I think Morton could pitch all right tonight. I do like Lau. I do like Caminero, but I don't know. People would probably have them higher. I just think Morton could be okay as one of those cheaper pitchers versus the Rays tonight. So.
Yeah, I like both these offenses here. I like the environment like you talked about. So I'm with you. I would have them at least both in-game interview. You have Tampa right there in the middle, and you got Baltimore in home run swing off. If you look at plate IQ, this Baltimore team is much better, much better against righties. The green, basically, as far as ISO and WOBA for the first 6 or 7 hitters, it does fall off there. Jacob Stallings is really a hard player to roster for me. I don't know how much power is in that bat these days or ever was.
How much better is Adley Rutschman? Like Adley Rutschman, he was supposed to be a can't-miss superstar, and I know he isn't back yet, but
he's kind of stunk this season.
He's kind of stunk, yeah.
Yeah. I imagine it's partly because of the injuries he was dealing with, and I think he was playing through some stuff. But he wasn't good this year when he was playing.
I don't think he was great at the end of last year either. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
They have one of the bigger hitting prospects in baseball, 20-year-old catcher. I'm assuming he's still blocked, and Rutschman's their guy. And they also drafted, I think their first round pick was a catcher too, if I'm not mistaken. They might have drafted 2 catchers. I don't know if they're calling anybody up this season. I wouldn't think so, but I can't think of the guy's name. A 20-year-old that's just smashing baseballs in the minors as far as power. Just somebody to keep an eye on. I know you're in a lot of dynasty leagues, Bobby. So yeah, feel free to check that out. Explore. You a big dynasty guy?
Nope.
No.
Someone saying Will Warren is pitching tonight for the Michael Smith. Yankees will use Warren and Stroman tonight. That doesn't seem correct.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you see that at?
In chat.
Chat is saying they're going to play Warren and Stroman, so like an opener and then a payback situation with Warren and Stroman.
He could be totally.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think that would be the case.
It's YouTube chat for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to. I could see one of those guys going, Stroman or Warren, but I mean, we're not rostering either one, right? Like even if you were told one of them's probably going to pitch, it doesn't seem like a risk reward perspective. It makes any sense to mess with. That's where I'm at least. 5 more games to go. About 15 minutes till we get crunch time. We got chief meteorologist Kevin Roth. We have Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz. We'll talk about that Blitz soon enough. And then you got Erik Beimfohr also hanging out there waiting in the bullpen. Let's see. Next game up. It's Detroit and Texas. 8.5 total. Patrick Corbin. He is throwing baseballs against Reese Olson. I don't think we have a Texas lineup just yet. We do have Detroit. Oh, we do have Texas. Texas did come in as the show was moving along here. Smith, Seager was hot going into the break, as was Marcus Semien, Adalis Garcia, Evan Carter, Langford. Did you know Rowdy Tellez is on Texas? Shout out to him. Higashioka and Heim, so double catcher here for Texas. Some pinch hit risk on the Detroit side with Vierling and Jones is like, I got to see what Carty has as far as Jones getting pinch hit for, because once Corbin comes out, like that might be the guy where, third time around, right before, maybe they probably want him for Green, but we might see Jones have 2 or 3 at bats. You tell me, Detroit and Texas, as I pull up Carty's.
I like this game for offense a good bit. I'm going to put Texas in replay review versus Corbin. I bet Seager for a home run. I like Evan Carter a good bit. Yeah, I'm very interested in Texas tonight. I think Adalis and Josh Smith are fine. But that's mainly Seager's probably my second favorite play on this bat on the slate behind Shohei. So yeah, I'm throwing Texas up there. And then I like Detroit a good bit too. Really like Torkelson. I think Riley Green is fine. He's in there, right? Yeah, we'll put Detroit and home run swing off.
All right. We can go ahead and drop that fifth clue for Film Friday. The fifth clue is Dracula. So Ring, Thunder, Overlook, Island, and Dracula. That is your 5 clues for Film Friday. Already have a winner in the Discord channel. Shout out to Moki22. Got a week free of RotoGrinders Premium or a week free of Scores and Odds. That was dealer's choice. Next game's up. We're talking about Minnesota, Colorado. 11 total. More of those runs getting delegated to Minnesota. I said before, there's only one team on this slate, 1 out of 22. There's a team total above 5. That same team is a team total above 6. That's the Minnesota Twins, the more popular team on the slate than pretty much anybody else as far as offense. Buxton leading off, I would say the best, big spend, speed, power combination, better position than anybody else to get 5 ABs on the road against Kyle Freeland. Yeah, love him. Both catchers are in there. Jeffers in the 2-hole, Vasquez in the 9-hole. And Minnesota's like outside of Buxton, obviously, and Castro kind of a little bit pricey. They're really cheap. They are really cheap. Royce Lewis, who's not been great this year, but we've seen in years past be awesome. Just a lot of the fringe guys from Minnesota are pretty cheap. So if you're playing cash stuff, you're probably ending up with like 4 or 5 Twins. And then the Rockies are kind of interesting too, because who's afraid of Chris Paddock, especially from the left side? McMahon, Taglia, they're certainly interesting. They do not have their good catcher in Hunter Goodman. He was at the All-Star game, I believe. Maybe they're giving an extra day for that. But, no Goodman. Austin Nola's in there, so that's a big downgrade to the stack, if nothing else. Twins, Rockies, what do you got?
Yeah, definitely putting Minnesota in replay review. I think you can put the Rockies there as well. Favorite Twins bat, Buxton, Correa, Royce Lewis, Castro. I think those guys are all fine. Harrison Bader. Like you said, they're very cheap. I think Christian Vasquez will hit a home run tonight because Dean mushed him at the beginning of the show.
What's 15-1, 10-1? What's Vasquez? 10-1?
He's probably going yard, whatever he is. Doesn't matter at this point. Colorado, McMahon's probably my favorite bat from Colorado. I think Moniak's fine. Showed power before the break too. Moniak, for what it's worth. Taglia, like you said. Yeah, that's mainly it. But I don't mind. They're basically facing Chris Paddock, like you said. Lefties should be in a good spot. It is Colorado, so I'll probably have some of these Rockies a good bit.
Being corrected in the chat, my bad. It's pronounced mochi. I guess like the sweet Japanese rice ball. I feel like I've seen an ice cream product named mochi. Are you aware of this? Are you cultured enough to speak on this, Bobby? Have you had mochi?
I don't love Chinese food.
Okay. Wait, is it general just a blanket statement? Like lo mein and
I don't love it.
Fried rice and orange chicken?
It's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe you'll like it.
I just don't. They use too much stuff, like too much ingredients. I don't know. Probably a bad take.
You're not a big MSG guy.
Half of this chat probably.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen that the rice ice cream. Yeah, I feel like I've had that before. I feel like I've had it. Does that look familiar to you, Bobby?
I want to go to that dumplings place in Vegas. I think it's in Aria or whatever.
Is there a more underrated food than dumplings? Dumplings get no respect.
They get no respect, yeah.
Spectacular. But nobody, it's not the greatest food, but nobody ever talks about it. Why don't we talk about dumplings? We don't talk about dumplings enough. Okay. St. Louis, Arizona, 9 total. Brandon Fought. Bad bullpen. No Ketel Marte taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals are one of my kind of sneaky off the board teams. I don't know if they're off the board. Somewhat, kind of, sort of. Ballpark upgrade. Locked in for 9. Bad bullpen. One of the worst pitchers in Brandon Pfaadt. He's been bad. Yeah, I like the Cardinals. They're not my top 5 teams, but they're on the fringe. You tell me. St. Louis, Arizona?
Outside of Gorman and Newmar, I don't love St. Louis, so they're going to go in Jazz Chisholm for me. Arizona, probably in-game interview with Marte and the downgrade. With Marte not being in there, that's a downgrade for them. So I probably would have had them in home run swing off, but throw them in-game interview. Still like Carroll. Still like Naylor. Just Palante, like a lot of ground balls there. So it's really sometimes he can be tough to stack against. I'd prefer them having Marte in the lineup.
Yeah, if you missed it, he's not playing tonight. Apparently he got robbed. You mentioned Palante. He's tough to stack against because of all the ground balls he gets. He does have a high homer to fly ball when you get a hold of it in the air, 21.5%. And again, it's a ballpark upgrade for the offenses here. Just that it's a little bit tougher to stack Arizona. I'm still flustered. I know we're talking about Japanese, but I'm still flustered. You don't like Chinese food? We have some things in common, Bobby. That is not one of them. I feel like
I knew I have to. 75% of this chat probably eats Chinese food every night.
I'll take over 75%. I mean, and it's not. There's like a whole bunch of stuff you can.
I like fried noodles.
What is fried noodles?
You never had fried noodles? Pretty good.
Possibly. I don't know. If you're at like the Chinese buffet, you'll try whatever. Like, I guess we'll give that a shot. I probably had it before.
I more like apps than I like entrees in China with Chinese food.
Oh.
Like we have this place called Su Chang's.
Yeah.
Good. My family goes there a lot. I eat the apps. I'm not a big fan of like orange chicken, like you basically said, and stuff like that. So.
Orange, that's a crowd pleaser, or orange chicken, and that's not just me.
I like lo mein. Lo mein's good, yeah. Whatever.
Two games to go here, Bobby. About 5-10 minutes until crunch time jumps in. I see Roth hanging out in chat. Tim's hanging out. Beimfohr also looks like I think he was a fan of the we were talking about dumplings. So yeah, dumplings gets no respect for whatever reason.
What dumplings are what? Are they Asian? They're Japanese, Chinese?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know the official origin story, but I feel like they're Asian.
I definitely do not still live with my mom, for what it's worth. We have 3 kids, and yeah.
Why did you feel like you had to clarify that?
I just wanted to throw that out there.
I didn't think you did, but now that you had to go to your way to clarify it, now I'm like, well, maybe he does.
There's enough people in the DFS community that probably still do, right? So
I'm sure there's some.
I think it's worth clarifying.
Kirkwood chiming in the dumpling conversation.
I've come to the conclusion. I'm out on Brian C in chat. I've never really been out on someone.
You're out
in chat, but I'm out. Yeah.
Oh. I didn't see what did it, but is he the one that called you out for?
Yeah,
they're just having fun. I think they're mostly just having fun. And all right, Milwaukee and the Dodgers 8.5. That's Glass now. I know you talked about earlier in the show. The Dodgers, besides Ohtani, like they're really cheap, but it's kind of warranted. It's earned. Betts, it's been an off year for him. He's had a weird season, losing all that weight to start the year and banged out a couple homers early. Oh, he's going to be fine. Maybe not. Maybe he's not fine. Teoscar's pretty cheap considering, or cheaper than he has been on the season, especially on FanDuel where he's 3-3. Glasnow throwing baseballs against the Brewers. Nobody's playing Brewers. Where do you have Milwaukee and the Dodgers on the board? By the way, just a heads up, I'm staring at the board. You have nobody in Pete Alonso MVP ticket holders. Nobody in the gutter, huh?
You're getting one right now.
Oh.
Milwaukee. Pete Alonso MVP ticket holders. I like Glasnow tonight. I'm all in. So they'll go there, and then the Dodgers. Shohei's my favorite play in the slate. Like Freeman, obviously. Just wanted to go through who'd I really like. Definitely Shohei, Will Smith, Teoscar, Pajes. Those guys stand out. I don't hate Brian C though. That's just, I was
Where do you have the Dodgers? I don't see them on the board. I see the Brewers in Pete Alonso MVP ticket holders. Where do the Dodgers go?
Am I nuts? Because I like Glasnow tonight. What do you want me to say? Like, is it wrong for me to say Dodgers go and replay review? I'm in on Glasnow.
Okay. I'm just now realizing I missed. You put Colorado in replay review as well. I like Colorado too, but yeah, this is your board. A little bummed that Goodman's not in there. I thought that was kind of a weird decision, but it's the Rockies. So is it surprising? Probably not.
Hey, Wig 3, it's my board. If I want Milwaukee to go and Pete Alonso MVP tickets, that's where they'll go.
Do we have to stop you from reading the chat, Bobby? You're getting distracted.
All show. Yeah.
They're going to have their opinions, and that's fine. We encourage interaction. The Astros and the Mariners, I talked about at the start of the show. I like these two pitchers a ton. Brandon Walter, Luis Castillo. I know if you look at Cal Raleigh's numbers versus lefties, they're otherworldly. Basically, it's him and Aaron Judge, like in their own stratosphere, each with like an ISO over 500 or something really goofy. Their WOBAs as well. But, I like Walter and I like Castillo. We don't have a lineup just yet for Houston, right? But I'm expecting 7 righties. Castillo distinctly better versus righties than versus lefties. Dig at the Dodgers: Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Teoscar, Conforto, Pages, Kim, and Edmonds. That's as expected, I believe. Muncy obviously still out for LA. Where do you want to throw these last two teams, the Mariners and the Astros? Neither with a team total above 4.
Yeah, both are going to be in Jazz Chisholm for me with Walter and Castillo, who we both talked about. We like the pitching in this game, so yeah, not too interested in these bats.
All right, I'm going to recap the board here in a second, Bobby. I'm also going to I like how producer Steve is shuffling around. He's doing his own like in-tier rankings. I think that's what he's doing, which I can appreciate. I'll recap it in a second. I'll tell you guys about.
I'm just trying to spell stuff.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Mace? What are you trying to spell?
Max was the only thing that came up.
Kirkwood is definitely a Chinese food guy for what it's worth.
He always talks up. He always says that Boston's got the best Chinese food in the country, which I think is a bold take. I can't say
it's bold. I think it's bold.
That seems pretty hot. That seems like a hot take.
You could generalize and say like the Northeast has the best Chinese food.
Yeah. Well, then you're getting New York, because then all of a sudden, yeah. Now you're probably you wouldn't get much disagreement. Mr. Irrelevant, by the way, says that we might get Bill Miller for Glass now. Do we have official umpire stuff? I know this is the starts of some new series, so they shuffle around beforehand. Is that officially been announced, or is that our current placeholder for umpires? Let's see. Yeah, we have let's see. I don't see Bill Miller. I do see some extreme hitters, umpires for Corbin, for Olsen, extreme hitters umpire for Castillo and Walter, which is not ideal for me. Extreme pitcher in cores for Freeland, for Paddock, also Palante and Fott. That is your extremes as far as umpires. I will recap the board. Bobby, get some Bobby bombs for me. Get them on layaway as I recap today's board. If you're joining us late, I power ranked the best things about the All-Star break, the All-Star game that we saw. I put the implementation of a replay review in the All-Star game at number 1. I thought it worked spectacular. I cannot wait till it joins real games next season, possibly. The home run swing off, that was pretty fun. In-game interviews where they would like literally talk to the pitcher as they're throwing the ball. Probably distracting, but who cares about the actual result? Jazz Chisholm just had a horrendous All-Star break. 0 for 3 in the actual game. He had 3 homers in the home run derby. It wasn't the best scene for him, but nobody had a worse time than people that had Pete Alonso MVP tickets, because he was well on his way. He had a 3-run homer. There's nobody else that could have been MVP. And then out of nowhere, Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 2 in the game, hits 3 homers in his 3 pitches, and he's the MVP in the thanks to the home run swing off. All right, teams in the tops here in replay review. It is Texas, the Twins, Colorado, the Dodgers. Home run swing off, that is Toronto, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Detroit. In-game interview, that's tier 3. San Fran, the Mets, KC, the Yankees. Atlanta, Tampa, Arizona. No Ketel Marte if you missed that. Jazz Chisholm, the Marlins. Look at that, his old team. The Athletics, Cleveland, Seattle, St. Louis, and Houston. And all by their lonesome. It's the Milwaukee Brewers hanging out in Pete Alonso MVP ticket. Going to bring in Crunch Time in just a second. I need Bobby to tell me today's Bobby Bombs, and I'm going to tell you guys about how we figured out today's Film Friday.
Let's go. Seager, Shohei, Barger, and Kurtz.
All right. So today's Film Friday, Bobby, it was Ring was our first clue. Ring was in reference to one of the co-stars in this film, Kristen Bell, who it's her birthday today. That's how I picked this movie, actually.
Kristen Bell is very attractive. Very easy on the eye.
Delightful. Yeah, she's delightful. It's her birthday, so shout out to her. 45, I think it was.
Is she really?
I think so. Give it a Google. That's what Google told me. Anyways, Bell, Ring, that was the reference, and that was enough for somebody to take it down. And one, clue number 2 was Thunder. Thunder is in reference to the Marshall Thundering Herd. You've heard of the Marshall Thundering Herd? The movie's not We Are Marshall, by the way. But Marshall's important there. Clue number 3, overlook. When you overlook something, sometimes you just forget it. You forget it. You overlook something, you forget it. 4 is an island. Island, maybe an island like Hawaii.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Look at you, Bobby. You're all over it. Were you reading chat? Did the chat give you the answer?
No, I just remember the movie.
Look at the big brain on Bobby. And clue number 5 was Dracula, which inexplicably the third act has a Dracula puppet opera that actually works. It's completely absurd and makes no sense. But spoiler alert, that is the third act for Forgetting Sarah Marshall, as Bobby told you. Let's go ahead and segue. Let's bring in crunch time. Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. We got Erik Beimfohr, as well as Derek Carty. Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz. Let's do it. Crunch time right now. What's up, boys? Roth, how are things?
And when I tell him, I will steal him.
What a ridiculous idea, right? How did that work? It actually worked.
But he must have actually been working on that because he's a weird dude, and then he just tied it into the movie is the only thing. But that whole movie is phenomenal. Have
you seen the table reads? They've leaked like the table reads of him. He had to sit at the table and do it in front of everybody. They couldn't make it. They couldn't make it through.
So random and so good.
The cast is loaded. Kristen Bell, Jason Segel, Mila Kunis, Bill Hader, Russell Brand, Paul Rudd, Jack McBrayer, Jonah Hill, just loaded, just stacked. It's like the 41 Yankees in there.
Well,
all right.
It's good.
Roth, everything good?
Yeah. Had a good break. Trying to build a grill. It's been taking me all-star break. I'm still looking at it in my office, so clearly it is not built. But we're getting there, progress.
Can you buy it already built? I've never built or bought a grill before. Is that a process?
It is a process. I think you could. I think the smart move is to go to like Home Depot and just buy one that's already built. But I ordered a fancy one online, and it just came in like 17 different boxes, and I knew. I was like, oh, I've chose poorly.
It's not the big green egg. It's something else. Is it like one of those flat ones?
No, it's nothing. It's just a grill, man. It's just a grill.
Flat ones.
I don't know. Blackstone.
That word was not coming for some reason. Blackstone.
Eric, how much Rashee Rice do you have?
Too much, but a lot of the other Chiefs. It's okay. We're gonna be all right.
I have this. I have a lot of the stacks.
Yeah,
we're gonna be okay.
So yeah, we're gonna be okay. Just pretend. The Rashee Rice picks didn't happen, and all the other ones did on the Chiefs.
Where did you move Rice to? About 50, 55, 60?
52 overall, just a few hours ago.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Carty, you care about best ball or you don't care about best ball?
I do season-long fantasy. I haven't really gotten into best ball yet, but I mean, it seems fun.
How much do you care about BVP, Carty?
Is that a serious question?
That was discussed earlier in the show.
Carty, do you like Chinese food? I'm triggered. Okay, I'm surprised that this hasn't come up. I'm upset with Bob. I love Bobby. That's my.
I was mad too.
The Chinese food take had me.
What was it?
I just don't, it doesn't sit well in my stomach. Like it's not. I get people like it. I just don't. Maybe
he made a blanket statement. I don't like Chinese food. And there's a huge assortment of options. He just doesn't like all of them.
There are many choices, Bobby.
Then he accused the chat.
What steakhouse did we go to in Florida, Eric? What steakhouse did we go to in Florida? I like steak. I like American food, seafood.
Oh yeah, in Miami. Was that Miami? Yeah. That was when. Sorry, I just have to tell everyone knows Travis Mangone here. Obviously not here. We went to a very, very, very nice steakhouse in Miami. Yeah,
Well
there's a
done.
dress code. There's a dress code. Mangone was wearing like
Flip
khaki shorts and flip flops.
And they
And
booted him. They wouldn't let
the
him in.
DraftKings and people and Cal had to like pull the owners of the restaurant aside to be like, please, God, just let him in. I don't want to know what they like paid this dude to let Mangone in the restaurant. But yeah, that was that night.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't aware, but I thought you were going to say you ordered a steak well done, that's another, you know.
That would have
Yeah,
been fitting.
I'm rare in my steak, Dean.
All right. Well, you got something right. You know, the blind squirrel, the broken clock, and all that. But myself and Bobby, we got to get out of here. Make way for crunch time. You got Roth. I don't know if you're ready for this. It's Canada, so 7:07 is first pick. 7:07. We got to get that Canadian. We can't plan it out just 2 minutes in advance. We can't do that. We just got to add 2 more minutes. So 7:07 is first pitch on tonight's 11 gamer. Myself and Bobby, we appreciate y'all watching the first portion. Do hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on those notifications, but do not go anywhere because you got 45 plus minutes of nonstop MLB DFS conversation starting right now with Kevin Roth. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. We're back, baby. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Eric, I have a note from producer Steve who says, if you could, please let Eric know his audio is coming through the AirPods. I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm passing it along.
It keeps switching back and forth. It literally says it's my mic right here, but it's yeah. So we'll try to get it fixed.
This is why I go old school wired. I don't need that Bluetooth shenanigan nonsense. This is
StreamYard changed a bunch of stuff, and it has screwed up my life. I'm not enjoying it.
That is never fun. How are you though? How was your break?
Wonderful. We're grinding summer league around these parts, Roth. So it's been a ton of fun. Getting out, touching grass, watching really bad basketball, but enjoying every second of it. But I'm excited for like some real sports to be back.
Yeah, well, we most certainly have that going on. We got Derek Carty in the house as well. I think during baseball break he just hibernates. I don't know. Carty, how was your break?
Yeah, no, I don't hibernate. It's not really a break. I just keep working on stuff, and there's just no games, but I'm working on stuff in the background, working on upgrades, getting ready for football season, all the fun stuff.
Okay, well, that's disappointing that you didn't get a break during the break, but understood. It's a busy time of year with football coming up right around the corner, as we like to say. Let's talk about the slate a wee bit. And weather-wise, the only real concerns would be in Washington, not on the slate, and probably fine anyways. And then in Atlanta, where a late start wouldn't fully shock me, but anything else would. I guess you can lump Colorado in that as well, where maybe either of those games get a late start. Both of them will play. I do not expect we'll see an in-game delay in either game. And that essentially means there are no real weather concerns because you're playing whoever you wanted to in those games. And that lets me off the hook. I will keep watching that Washington game. I'll send out a radar tweet in case you're sports betting it or whatever. But for the most part, for our purposes here, weather is a non-issue. And I assume, Carty, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we have all the good pitchers going because do teams reline up their aces after the All-Star break?
No, you might think that, but
no,
it depends on. No, it depends on kind of like they try to keep guys as close as they can on schedule, except young guys. Maybe they'll try to give a little bit more rest. And if a guy pitched in the All-Star game, well, then maybe he's not ready to go again today.
Right.
So it's kind of a mishmash. We have a few aces. We have a few teams that didn't even announce a pitcher until like 2 hours ago, and they're just rolling with an opener. So it's a smattering of everything.
Don't you think like if your fourth or fifth pitcher was scheduled to pitch this game, they should have had him do just like a simulated real game and then just gotten the ace out to restart? Doesn't that make sense?
But then the ace would be on short rest potentially. I mean, I guess
it shouldn't be. It was 4 days off.
I guess that's true. I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know, Rob.
Anyways,
maybe you're making sense here.
I don't know anything about baseball, so probably not. Okay, well then talk to me about the pitchers that we do have. You mentioned you got some up here, you got some not up there. So what are we doing?
Yeah, we actually have a pretty surprising lack of aces. We have a top three today of Luis Castillo, Spencer Strider, and Tyler Glasnow. I don't think any are like great, but I think they're all obviously better than the rest of the field, which is pretty meh. Castillo's the guy I think I like the most. He's facing what I consider to be the weakest offense, even though it's the Astros. Like, the Astros lineup is not what it used to be. It's really not good if you look at it. This is a below average offense. Castillo is not the pitcher he used to be either. But that's kind of the case with him, Strider, and Glass now. Like, none of these guys are the guy they used to be, the guy they were even last year. All these guys have either gotten older or coming off injuries, and they're not throwing as hard. Their stuff plus is down. Like, none of these guys I really feel confident with. But you kind of have to, beggars can't be choosers on this slate. So I think Castillo Strider is my favorite pairing. Glass now I think is fine. He's the cheapest of them, potentially the lowest owned of them, but he's seen also probably the biggest decrease in his stuff plus. And he's only one game removed from the IL now. Didn't look particularly sharp in that one game. So it's really tough. Those are your top three. They'll be chewing up most of the ownership. But if you want to take shots on, there's probably another half a dozen guys, maybe 10 guys that you can legitimately throw in the mix in GPPs, because none of these top guys are safe. You have Slade Ciccone, who I think is probably my favorite of the rest of them. But you have Bassett, you have Sandy Alcantara, you have Brandon Pfaadt. There's a good handful of guys that you can play. Sean Manaea, I would have a lot of interest in if he was going to have a longer leash. Like, he's probably only going 85 pitches. Maybe he could go 90. And for 7K, maybe on this slate, that's okay. But there's also the chance he's done it like 75.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Erik, what are you doing pitcher-wise?
Well, that is the perfect segue, because I'm playing Sean Manaea, and I'm praying for those 90 pitches that Carty is mentioning, because I have every single concern that he just laid out about all the big dogs, the spend ups, and of course the most popular pitchers on the slate. I don't feel like they are the difference making talents right now. Can they get there? Sure. Right. Anything can happen. These guys have a long track record, specifically Strider and Glasnow and the youth on their side. I think they'll be fine long term. Right. I'm in a dynasty league. I'm not rushing to sell these guys, but today is what matters. And I'm not so convinced that these guys are going to like separate from the pack. The matchups are not like, I agree. I've been targeting the Astros with it's been a roller coaster targeting the Astros with pitchers all season, but I've been targeting them and I feel comfortable about that. But I don't feel very comfortable about the current form of Luis Castillo either. So I'm going down the list at pitcher today. And it feels weird because, like you said, Roth, I came into it thinking I'm going to have a bunch of aces to pick from today, and maybe I'll pick a lower owned ace than a different ace. And I'm recommending Sean Manaea and Slade Ciccone and Mark Sears and like all these losers at the bottom of the salary list. But I actually like spending down and going and getting the really big bats today, because I don't think that I think those top spends are going to take up all the ownership, but they're not going to necessarily separate from the field. I like Taj Bradley as well. I think I should at least mention him. I don't love the park. I don't really love the matchup all that much, and I don't love his current form either. But if I'm gonna like deal with those issues, I don't want to do it with the most popular guy for $2,000 more than with Taj Bradley. So it's kind of a lot of these cheaper guys for me. And like I said, taking the swing on Manaea and just, if I get 75, it could be okay. Probably not, but it could be okay in 75. If I get 90, awesome. That's great.
It's also worth noting with Manaea, he's only one start removed from the IL, but he looked good in that start. It's not like Glasnow where we're like, oh, he's shaking some rust off. Manaea looked ready to go.
Okay, that's a good note. Let's go to FanDuel real quick. We only get one pitcher over there. Beimfohr, is there pricing differences where you think, okay, maybe I didn't want to spend up on DK, but over on FanDuel, I like it because?
That's a great question that I should have probably prepared for. Strider is the most expensive pitcher over there, which I know he's near the top, but Seth Lugo is hilariously the most expensive pitcher on DraftKings. So that throws a little bit of a wrench into things. What I would say about Glasnow specifically is I think I like out of those the big three,
I like Castillo the most on DraftKings, but I also like him the most on FanDuel. He's the cheapest.
You get a pretty good
Glasnow's
discount, yeah.
Glasnow is the cheapest on DraftKings, which does make that at least appealing, whereas Castillo is the cheapest on FanDuel. So I think that's how I would think about it. If you're trying to save and you're thinking about FanDuel versus DraftKings, I like Castillo on both, but Castillo on FanDuel looks a little bit better too.
Very good. Carty, any other thoughts on FanDuel? And do we go over if there was a cash pairing, what it would be on DK?
Ooh.
Yeah, on FanDuel, the discount on Castillo, I think, is good. And he's really not much more expensive than like that next tier of pitchers that we talked about. Like he's the same as Taj Bradley, as Bassett, as Ciccone, as Brandon Pfaadt, Manaea. They're all around that same price. So on FanDuel, it feels a little more comfortable taking Castillo because you don't have to pay extra for him. On DraftKings in cash, I do think you just pair two of those top three. Castillo would be one of my two, and then I lean towards Strider, but it could be Glasnow. I wouldn't tell you you're wrong to play one of these cheaper guys, but I don't think that's what I would do.
But you're wrong. Is what he's saying.
Yeah. You're wrong. Okay, let's talk about the bats and the stacks. Carty, you can lead us off in that department.
The Twins are clearly the top stack tonight. They'll be the most popular. They project the best. They're in Coors Field against Kyle Freeland. And so pretty much any Twins bat, especially any Twins righty, is going to be projecting really well tonight. The Dodgers project almost as well, but you have to pay more for them. But you will get them at a bit of an ownership discount because when people are spending up, they're probably going to be prioritizing, Buxton over Ohtani tonight kind of thing. But that makes Dodgers really appealing, I think, in tournaments where you can get them with an elite projection, for half the ownership you might otherwise. The Rockies and the Rays are kind of the other two that I like a lot tonight. And then after that, you can make a case for most of the rest of the slate. I will say the Brewers are probably the off the board stack that I have the most interest in. We mentioned the issues with Glasnow with his stuff plus being way down. Even earlier in the year before he got hurt, it was way down. He came back from the IL. It's way down. And he's incredibly easy to steal against. So there's a lot of paths to Brewers points, even if it's just like a little, 2 or 3 man stack with Brewers. The Brewers have some outs tonight.
Okay, good notes. Beimfohr, what are your favorite stacks?
Just quickly, it reminds me of Syndergaard during the peak Syndergaard days. I know Glasnow is not, but every night it was like bet all these guys to steal bases.
Yeah,
or
I remember that.
Like remember Billy Hamilton against Syndergaard? It's like I just that's what because the Brewers are going to run. If they get on first, these dudes are running for outside of what like Contreras or Hoskins or like, and they might run. Those guys might run too. So I like that. And as someone fading Glasnow, especially on DraftKings, I think that makes a ton of sense. Carty pretty much nailed it. Although I really struggle with the Twins because they're just not that good. And it's Coors. The prices are pretty good. They didn't get the like total mega Coors bump that a lot of teams do, especially on DraftKings. So it is a very difficult fade. And I'm okay with playing some of them like, a secondary stack or one-offs or whatever. If you're doing some of the stuff like we're talking about here, like playing Manaea and maybe some of these other pitchers, like go for it, play the Twins. But it's just not that good of a lineup. And it really pains me to play the like not good hitters on a huge slate. Like this is a huge slate. It's our first slate back. Let's play the guys you enjoy, like, Shohei Ohtani, which is the Dodgers thing. If I can get like Carty mentioned, a discount on ownership on the Dodgers because everyone's going to play the Twins and I'm playing cheaper pitchers, I can afford the Dodgers, right? I can afford all of those types of guys. And frankly, on DraftKings, you could probably play 2 of the big 3 that we talked about and still afford the Dodgers because the most expensive pitcher on the slate is $9,300. I don't know what the hell happened with the pitching pricing on DraftKings. 2 years ago, the Spencer Strider would be $12,000, and now it just whatever. So the Dodgers are my number one priority. The Tigers, I like quite a bit against Patrick Corbin. It's nothing like totally jumps off the screen at you. Like Corbin is just the weirdest pitcher of all time. His numbers are just like bad, but not. We talk about him like he's the worst pitcher of all time, but the numbers don't really show that story. But they're definitely not good. So like there's going to be production here from the Tigers. I actually like the Tigers because you can mix in some of the lefties, avoid the pinch hit risk guys that they have, and get some lower ownership on the Tigers. And then the Cardinals and Diamondbacks game. I'm very frustrated that Ketel Marte is not in the lineup because I liked him a lot again as a spend up because I'm going to be able to afford some expensive bats. But I like both sides of that game. I'm totally biased, as you probably see on your screen. There's a bunch of St. Louis stuff in the background. I'm literally wearing a St. Louis t-shirt, so I'm very biased about the Cardinals. But I hate Andre Palante. He's terrible. I know he gets ground balls, and that's fine. But this dude is. I'm not going to watch. I'm just going to follow on the MLB app later because I can't stand watching this guy. He's terrible. And Brandon Pfaadt, quite frankly, is not that much better. So I like that game as like a little sneaky juice, a little sneaky upside.
Okay. One other team I think we have to throw out is the Yankees because they're the Yankees, and Strider is definitely not Strider. They project well, and they'll be super low on too when you get the leverage. So Yankee stack should definitely be in your mix.
Joey says, am I alone in liking the Braves more now that Fried isn't starting? Their ownership seems low. Any interest there, Carty?
Yeah, I think they're fine. The problem is we don't actually know who's pitching tonight. We're going to get Ian Hamilton for an inning or maybe two, and then, I don't know, a mishmash of bullpen guys, I guess, which is not always the best thing to attack. You know, they're fine, but...
Who the hell is Nacho Alvarez Jr.?
Nacho Alvarez Jr., starting third baseman for the Atlanta Braves with Austin Riley on the IL.
You got to play a guy named Nacho. That's just a rule.
Picked him up in my fantasy league.
Nice. Nacho is going to do big things for you. Let's go around the horn. Talk position by position. Beimfohr, you can start us off with catcher.
I don't remember if this means I'm doing outfield or not, but we're going
to find out
here now. My math is failing me. Carty already knows because he's the math whiz around here. Let's see. So full disclosure, I created a little list, and I total ignore me if someone is not in the lineup. Ryan Jeffers obviously stands out at the top. It's the Twins. Whatever, if you can afford him, get him. I do like him, like even as like a one-off. He's definitely going to be popular, but if I can afford it. I love the catcher, like just lock me into this, probably the highest upside catcher on the slate in Coors Field against Kyle Freeland, because I don't totally love everything at catcher. It's been a much better position over the course of the season. Cal Raleigh is awesome. I'm spending on a lot of other guys, and Cal Raleigh today is probably not, which means you know what it means, right? He's going to do what he does, but I'm probably not playing him today. And so I'm moving down a little bit if I can afford Jeffers, great. If not, Salvador Perez is my number 2 option. He's currently in the lineup that I'm building right now. The park is not fun. I'm not excited about that park, but Sandy Alcantara not an exciting season from him. This is like the slate of a bunch of guys who the names look great and the performance has not been good. At all, and Salvi is still kind of just Salvi, but we're not having to quite pay for old school Salvi. David Fry is hitting second, I believe, against Sears, who I kind of like don't hate Sears long term. He's just like he's the most fourth starter guy you've ever seen in your entire life. Just like throw him at the end of your rotation and whatever. And I tend to like those guys, so I don't know what that says about me, but. David Fry, once upon a time, if you recall, I believe last year was like $5,000 in DraftKings for like 3 months because he went absolutely bonkers. And so 2,500 does just like hit you in the face. And I do think he's a reasonable play if you need savings at catcher. And then Alejandro Kirk has been awesome this year. I don't love paying $4,000 for him. A little bit more of a get on base guy, but he's shown some real pop this year. And if you want he's going to put the ball in play and never strike out. And so like, you're going to enjoy those ABs. He's your guy with a like 7% strikeout rate to right-handers.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. Carty, catcher.
Jeffers is the obvious guy. Like he said, he projects every bit as good as Raleigh does today. And Raleigh is Raleigh against a bad left-hander. So that speaks to the matchup here. Obviously the Twins are great. Jeffers is hitting second. He's your cash guy pretty much no matter what. As far as saving money, I agree. Salvi and David Fry are the 2 I like the most. To be different in tournaments, though, a lot of the teams that I mentioned during stacks have good catchers. So like you can play Will Smith here as a one-off or in your Dodger stacks. You can play Wilson Contreras as a one-off or in your Milwaukee stacks. You can play Ben Rice as a one-off or in your Yankee stacks. Like those are the type of guys I like to be different tonight.
Yeah. Okay. First base.
If you have the money, Ohtani is great. And honestly, I think you can make a case for finding the money for him. Certainly if you're not playing twin stuff in GBPs. There's plenty of stuff in the mid-range that is like fine. Like Freddie Freeman's really affordable tonight. Ty France in the Twins lineup is very affordable. Spencer Torkelson's against Patrick Corbin. He's nice. Michael Toglia on the opposite side of Coors, though. I think he's the Coors piece I like the most at first base here, price considered. And then Andrew Vaughn at 2.7K is the guy I probably like the most overall. He's so cheap. He has power. He's looked really good since joining the Brewers. We've mentioned all the stuff with Glass now, how he's not himself, how there's some stolen base potential for Vaughn even. I don't think we have a Brewers lineup yet, so I want to see that, but I like Vaughn quite a bit if he's in there.
Okay. We did get news, by the way. The chat has told me 17 times. Nolan Gorman scratched, and it looks like Walker is in. So if you have Gorman in your lineups, get him out, figure out something else. Beimfohr, what do you like at first?
Well, I don't like Jordan Walker in the lineup for the Cardinals. I will tell you that much. My God, that dude stinks. Go if you want to laugh. Go look at his. They sent him down on a rehab assignment. He was rehabbing, right? The air quotes rehabbing to Double-A. I think you could have hit better in Double-A than Jordan Walker
he was getting smoked in Double-A.
He couldn't hit Double-A pitching, and he's back up in the big. So, spoiler alert: not a first baseman, but don't play Jordan Walker. He's terrible. Ohtani. It's kind of simple for me. Yeah, this is the Cardinals' life. It's like he's gonna get traded to the Dodgers and go full Randy Arozarena and lead them to a World Series or something. But speaking of the Dodgers, I kind of like Shohei Ohtani, unsurprising, and Freddie Freeman. Those are my two favorite spend ups at the position. Vlad seems fun, but I'm not playing Vlad over Ohtani as more of a single entry, small field type of a player. If I'm not playing Ohtani, Spencer Torkelson is my favorite first baseman, followed by Nick Kurtz. But Torkelson, I love Torkelson today. Platoon advantage. I think that game had small weather concerns earlier today, and you cleared that up or something. I wrote down
Was
weather.
it Atlanta?
No, that's is it? It's not in Detroit. It's in so maybe I wrote it down wrong. No, I wrote it down totally wrong. It's me. It's me, not you. We're breaking up. It's just me though. Nick Kurtz and Vinny Pasquantino, because I do like the Royals a little bit against Sandy. I just hate the park, but it's really Ohtani, Torkelson, Kurtz for me.
Okay, it is Fettuccine Friday, so Pasquantino obviously gets a boost on Fettuccine Friday. That is a fact. Second base, Erik, what do you got?
I would have loved to lead with Ketel Marte, but he is not in the lineup. So Gleyber Torres, the natural kind of chalky second baseman at the top of your screen. I love Brendan Donovan, but A, I'm depressed because Nolan Gorman's not in the lineup now, and B, Brendan Donovan is like the most boring fantasy play of all time. So I don't love to play him when he's like popular. He's like a really good hitter. It's like a really good baseball player who's just like not a great fantasy option. So I don't want to play him when he's popular. I'm moving down a little bit. If Marte is not in the lineup, there's a fun name at the bottom. Blaze Alexander is in the lineup for the Diamondbacks. And if we're playing bad hitters, at least I can pay for $2,200 or whatever at second base, because second base is bad. So I do like Blaze, and then you have Brooks Lee also. Another Minnesota Twin, and then Jackson Holiday. I just want to shout out Jackson Holiday. I believe I don't see him on my screen in front of me, but I believe he's in the lineup. He's been like really good against right-handed pitching, and I think it's just kind of the Orioles are a mess, and like he's not quite living up to the insane hype that he had, but deserving nonetheless of some exposure.
Okay, very good. Carty, second base, please.
Yeah, I think Willie Castro is going to eat up the most ownership because he's a Twin, but he's almost 5K. He's Willie Castro. You definitely don't have to pay for him. In GPPs, I love Jazz tonight. I mentioned Yankee stuff I just like against Strider. Jazz projects. I mean, second base is so bad that Jazz projects better than everybody except for Castro, and he projects for 3% ownership. He's expensive. He's facing Strider, but he still is one of the best second basemen on the slate, and no one's going to play him. So I like him a lot. If I'm going to save money, I think I'd rather. I think I'd like to go down to Angel Martinez. He's hitting leadoff against Sears, who I know Eric loves for some reason. I'm not a big JP Sears guy, believe it or not. I don't think JP Sears is that good.
His parents are not big JP Sears fans.
So yeah, I like Martinez a lot. Second base is bad, so I want to save money. Blaze Alexander is certainly fine for 2-2. I'd probably rather spend a little extra for Martinez in the better spot. But yeah, otherwise second base is really like not good tonight.
Can we talk about Gleyber Torres really quick? He's at the top of our projections with 3 tags. So 3 people randomly liked him, and I don't think either of you brought him up. Carty, what are your thoughts there?
Eric mentioned him briefly.
Oh, sorry.
He's fine. But he's 4.5K. Like, it's not like he's that good. You have Brandon Lau, who's in a similar spot. You have Brendan Donovan, who projects almost the same, and he's 600 cheaper. You have, Albies in India who project closely, and they're, 1,000 cheaper. I don't know. Like, he's fine, but if he's going to be a guy that people are gravitating towards, I don't have to have him.
I'll say it, Roth. He's a lefty masher. That's why the field is doing it.
Oh, that's what's going
Carty
on
didn't
here.
want to say it.
Now I understand. Okay. Carty. Carty, third base. What do you like there?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't like. Lefty mashers.
Damn lefty mashers.
If you're not playing Jazz at second, you can play him at third. He makes more sense at second, but I think he's the top third baseman too. He's that good tonight, I think. Royce Lewis, though, is the guy that makes the most sense. He's reasonably priced, 3.6. He's in cores against Freeland. He's really good despite kind of mediocre surface numbers this year. He's gotten a lot of bad luck. So I like Royce Lewis. I like Ryan McMahon on the other side of that game. I like Matt Chapman a lot for a home run tonight. He's really cheap. He's in a great park for it. I think he's going to be very, very overlooked. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Rafael Devers too in tournaments. I like a lot at his price.
Sure. Eric, third base.
Yeah, Royce is such a Royce is so I had Gorman at the top of my list, which is very frustrating. Now this whole thing has thrown me as a fan, as a DFS player. I'm rattled. I'm as rattled as I was when Bobby said he didn't like Chinese food earlier. So Royce naturally jumps off. Addison Barger is one of my guys. So he's kind of going to catapult to again, I've mentioned some Royals and some Jays, which are like not my favorite stacks, but so maybe I need to be stacking some of them. But he's just a very, very good hitter in a good enough spot, not like the best spot on the slate at low ownership. Royce, I like Suarez also against my guy Andre Palante, who is not good. In case you didn't hear earlier, he's not very good. And Maikel Garcia, another Royal I wanted to shout. Other than the guys that Carty mentioned, Maikel Garcia. I don't believe that this thing is real. What he's doing this season, every at bat you watch of Maikel Garcia is like the weirdest thing you've ever seen. He doesn't walk, he swings at everything, but it just keeps happening, and he steals bases. And so him at super low ownership, I like as well.
Okay, that brings us to shortstop, Eric.
This one's simpler. The Bobby Witt guy, pretty good. The Corey Seager guy, also pretty good. Gunnar Henderson, decent. And then, sadly, the Cardinals stuff. But I like Mason Wynn a little bit lower.
Okay. That was easy. Shortstop, Carty.
I'm not a fan in general, but Carlos Correa tonight in cores projects every bit as good.
I'm so done with Carlos Correa.
I know. I don't like him. I don't want to do it. But he's 1,500 less than Ellie and Lindor, and I don't know. I think I'm probably just playing him, at least in cash. In tournaments, you can easily fade. Yeah. Tovar is back for the Rockies tonight. especially if people miss that. He's only 3.2K. He's a great play tonight. I like Tovar a lot. And Mookie Betts. We're getting a $4,400 Mookie Betts with, what is the ownership projection? Like 5% ownership projection or something stupid. Just there's a lot of reasons to like Dodgers stuff tonight.
Yeah, okay. That brings us to the outfield. Look at that, Beimfohr. You got to dodge outfield.
I'm the math whiz. Who knew I was the math whiz on this?
Hey, Carty, you get to lead us into the outfield. What are we doing there?
The top guys are Buxton and Ohtani by a lot. Buxton is going to probably have 50% more ownership than Ohtani will, which means I love Ohtani in GPPs tonight because he's every bit as good as Buxton. He's 200 less, and you're going to get him at a lot lower ownership. If you can get to Buxton in cash, you prefer to do that, but I don't have a problem doing Ohtani if you need to save that money. I like Judge in that same price tier a lot. I don't like him as much in a raw sense, but you're going to get him at a third of the ownership of Buxton, maybe a quarter of the ownership of Buxton. And you're going to get leverage against Strider, and he's Judge, and he's really good. So sign me up for some Judge. In terms of more reasonably priced stuff, definitely the core stuff. Jordan Beck, Tyler Freeman, Mickey Moniak, Harrison Bader on the other side of the game looks really good. Alec Burleson for St. Louis is another guy that I think is almost as good as those cores guys, but probably won't be as owned. So I think he's interesting. And that's the majority of what I like in the outfield tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Erik, your thoughts in the outfield?
Pretty similar. I'm going to regret every second of the Byron Buxton fade that I'm going to make tonight when, he hits 2 home runs in Coors Field and does Byron Buxton things. But Byron Buxton being more expensive than Shohei Ohtani is just something I don't stand for. I don't care where they could play on the goddamn moon for all I care. And I'm not playing Byron Buxton over Shohei Ohtani for $200 more. So yeah, that's, but if you can afford them both, sure, go for it. I get it. If you're playing Sean Manaea and JP Sears, like idiots like me might be doing, Riley Green, big fan of Riley Green tonight. Big fan of the Tigers overall. I mentioned Torkelson at first base. Alec Burleson, also Corbin Carroll. If you need some cheapies, Michael Conforto on the Dodgers. We're still at odds a little bit but there was he showed me a little light. Like I feel like there's maybe light at the end of the tunnel now from pre-All-Star break. A month ago, if you asked me, I would have been like, just send this dude down, please. So I stopped losing money on Michael Conforto. Mm-hmm. But I have a little bit more hope from the end of the first half, and he's very, very cheap. And remind me how we pronounce the Royals young fella. His name Caglianone. That guy.
You just say it really Italian, and it doesn't matter what you say.
Is he Italian?
That's right.
He does look Italian. I went to it when the Royals were in town, and I went and watched it. He is huge, and he looks like he should be very good at baseball. He hasn't been thus far, but in the minor leagues, he was very, very good, and he's very, very cheap. So he's another little punt option. And he was like super popular for 1 million slates in a row when he first got called up, and now everyone's finally given up, which means now it's time to play that guy.
That is the cycle for rookies. People
time.
People love getting excited about their rookies. Man, remember how excited they were about Jordan Walker, Erik?
Dude, okay. Can we end the show?
And
I'm done here.
Too far.
I'm done here. I'm done here. I want to make sure that Carty how math works, and then he had to dunk on the Cardinals. Yeah.
Sorry.
Wrong. Hey, I want to make sure that people see a couple things. First, Spidey Bombs. Kristen Yelich plus 630, Mickey Moniak plus 420, Gleyber Torres plus 540, and then Aranda at plus 525. Got some good odds on some Spidey Bombs today, so make sure you're taking advantage of that. Also want to make sure you hit the thumbs up. In case you didn't notice, you paid nothing for this show. It is free, and all that we ask to get your continued eyeballs is that you hit that thumbs up so we can bring in some other folks and make sure everybody is seeing it. The Schroeder family says, I'm late to the chat. Any danger of the Atlanta, New York, or Tampa Bay, Baltimore game getting postponed? And my immediate answer to that is no, but I haven't really looked at radar in either spots because I didn't think any were going to have rain. So I'll double check, but I think the answer to that is no. Also, I have a lot of notes here. I want to make sure you're getting the best deal in the industry, and it's a brand new one. So pay attention. We're hooking you up with a little preseason NFL bonus. When you grab the Combo Pro 6-month subscription, you get full access now. It's a new read. It's a little rusty. Full access now through September 1st for free, and your subscription doesn't end until March 1st. That is 6 free weeks to build lineups, test projections, get all dialed in before NFL season starts. The promo is only good until the 22nd. So you have 3 days to get a free 6 weeks if you're doing Combo Pro with RotoGrinders. So make sure you are taking advantage of that.
I got a suggestion, Roth.
Please, yeah.
If
Is
you
it
trip
pronounced
over
words?
If it's about, well, I mean, if you're tripping over your words during promo reads, do you think RG would be okay if you just did it in an Italian accent and then you could just say whatever you wanted?
You did nail the Italian accent.
Hang on. Yeah. With the combo. That's just, I'm going to get fired. I should, we'll just drop it. All right. Hey, let's answer some questions. We have not 10 minutes, but because of the loonies and toonies and Canadians, we have 12 minutes until lock. So we got plenty of time for some questions. And I did want to, mamma mia. Let me just double check the New York thing. I'm pretty sure there's no rain around New York, which is why, no. And then Tampa Bay was his other one. You should be fine there as well. Yeah, I don't expect issues at either of those. What are we going to do? I know what we're going to do. We're going to answer some questions. And I want to do a squad ride for the WNBA All-Star Game. Beimfohr, do you have any interest in the WNBA skills contest?
I have a lot of interest. I don't have a lot of intelligence around that subject, so I'm going to need some guidance. But I'm totally in. I'm all in.
We don't need it. We don't need the expert, because the expert in the chat, Hoosiers Hang Banners, says Lexi Hull. This is the person who replaced Caitlin Clark when she was injured, to win the 3-point contest, shooting 47% from deep this season. So she's a stone cold sniper. He says the odds are at plus 750. I don't know. I saw some odds in other spots, but if there's only 5 people and her odds are plus 750 and she's really good, that seems like a really good bet. So I don't know where the odds currently stand.
Who is it? What's her name?
Lexi Hull.
750. Yeah, I'm on DraftKings at 750. Let's do it.
Squad ride Lexi Hull for the WNBA.
Did you put it in?
Done.
So I was going to say, I think
Done.
EK offers a bonus to boost it too.
Oh no, I didn't boost it.
Oh man,
You're gonna have to put it in again.
25%. Oh, my double. I'm 2 units on Lexi Hull to win the contest.
Oh man, it's a squad ride, man. You know, you gotta get in. I'm just randomly now excited for the WNBA 3-point shootout.
Who said that in the chat? You're getting an invoice when this.
Hoosiers Hang Banners. We will blame him or give him all the love when it happens. There you go. There's the line. 47% from 3. You know, I feel like
not bad.
I feel like this is some good stuff. All right, let's see what we've got. Jumping in the Discord as always. That's where I like to start with my questions, and we'll see if we've got anything. JT Money says, Carty, I have Jones for Detroit and Tellez for Texas. Any chance either of them have more than 2 at-bats, or am I crazy?
Sorry, Jones for
Detroit.
Oh, Detroit, Jahmai Jones. Yeah, he's like a 50% pinch hit risk guy. Who's the other one?
Tellez.
I would imagine he's at least Tellez is a lefty. I would need to look at Detroit's bullpen. Like if it's a team that only has like 1 lefty in the bullpen, maybe you get lucky and like Tellez doesn't get pitch hit for kind of thing. I can take a quick look at what their bullpen looks like. I do not know the handedness of every bullpen off the top. No, they have 3 lefties in the pen. You're probably looking at a pretty high pinch hit risk for Tellez too.
Okay, so here we go. If Lexi wins this, Hoosiers Hang Banners gets a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. I love that, and he deserves it. This is glorious stuff that's happening. Joey Rock says he's in. It's a squad ride, man. You gotta get in. We will all celebrate together. Let's see. Cam the Man says, I love how passionate Erik is about Jeffrey Springs. I just respect the hell out of that. I respect the hell out of that.
I appreciate your respect for my affinity for terrible athletes. That's kind of my thing.
Peter says, DKGPP with everybody on Strider, Eric. What do you think of a pivot to Lugo tonight?
On DraftKings, I honestly don't think it's crazy. Those other guys are all very risky. Again, that big three. Lugo is like the least risky but least upside pitcher ever. Like, you're just gonna get the Seth Lugo game. You get every Seth Lugo game. And if those other three guys fail, it is the Marlins. You can stumble into 25 or whatever. He also has a nice leash. Carty can speak to that even better than I can. It's like, you could get a huge 8-inning game or something. He's not going to strike out 12 guys, but you could get a really nice game if those other guys fail.
Yeah. Okay. Someone says, it says thunder and showers in Atlanta. I don't know what it is, but it is not me. And I say it's fine. And I am the final word. So it's fine in Atlanta. I don't care what app you're looking at. You're good. They may be brief late start because of rain that happened 30 minutes ago, but it's dry now and it will be dry for the rest of the day. What do you think about old Chuck Morton? And when I say old, I mean it. Old Chuck Nasty Morton in a FanDuel. Oh God, FanDuel GPP is your only pitcher. You can't do that, can you, Carty?
I don't think I would. No. On DK, maybe. On FanDuel, I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah. AK Boy says, am I dumb for liking the Orioles tonight? Beimfohr, you mentioned a couple Orioles or one Oriole.
Yeah, I think the Orioles are can be spectacularly bad. So I like Taj Bradley on one hand, and also the park is great. Taj has not been very good this year, and the Orioles have upside. I think both sides look great in tournaments.
Okay. Mike and Drew Sports presents the roundtable. Says, Carty, how do you feel about Wencel Perez as a one-off Tiger?
I don't think I'm as big on the Tigers as it sounds like Eric is. I like them. So you certainly can one-off him if you want. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Carty, right back to you. Teoscar or Beck? DK Cash.
I'll take Beck.
Okay. Let's see what we got. So Beimfohr, over to you. DK Piece Freeman or Torkelson?
I prefer Torkelson.
Okay. Mitchell says, oh, you know what? We forgot this. We forgot home run calls. We need the home run calls of the night, please. And Carty, I see you clicking away, researching, looking at the bat. What do you got for me?
I'm going to guess that Buxton and Ohtani project pretty good for a home run. Let me take a quick look. Oh, what do you know? Ohtani right up there. Aaron Judge, though, I think he's great tonight, and no one's going to really play him. They're going to play Ohtani or Buxton if they spend that money. And Judge has, when you're looking at home run projection, it's as good as the other two. So I like him a lot. I mentioned Matt Chapman earlier. I like a lot in the mid-range as a guy that people are just going to overlook. And for betting purposes, a few minutes ago, Victor Caratini was plus 850 was the best odds, and I thought he projected pretty well.
Great. Okay, Beimfohr, you have a few names.
Yeah. We're going to go with Torkelson that we just mentioned. Alec Burleson from the Cardinals, and I'm gonna make you say the name, but Jack
Caglianone.
Yes, exactly. Jack's gonna finally do it tonight. He needed to take a breather during the All-Star break, and he's gonna come back and he's gonna remember how to hit now.
I like that. All right, Alex says, hey, what was the squad ride again? It was Lexi Hall. I forget.
To hit a home run. Lexi Hall to hit a home run. Yes.
What? No, that doesn't make sense. It was to win the WNBA 3-point shooting contest. Odds at plus 750 on DK. There's only 5 people, and she's a really good shooter. I just
Sabrina Ionescu is in. She's like the Steph Curry of women. That's why she's plus 750, is because there's basically the female version of Steph Curry in the 3-point shooting competition. I didn't know that before I put the bet in.
Sabrina would probably beat a lot of the dudes.
She does beat a lot of the dudes.
Yeah.
You're questioning the squad ride, and that's not okay.
I just put the squad ride in too. I just put it in right now.
Brother, we got 2 units on Lexi Hull to win. I didn't know who Lexi Hull was before 15 minutes ago.
That's amazing. I'm proud of you.
I'm in, but I learned after the fact that the greatest female basketball shooter of all time is also in the 3-point shooter.
That is problematic. I was unaware of that, but we'll see how it goes. With those odds, you had to get 2 units down. You had to do it. Let's see. Scrolling down. Sears and Freeland. Eric, Sears and Freeland going to win me all the money. To be clear, this is from Eric Johnson, who always chooses the craziest plays, and yet you're in agreement this time.
I'm in agreement somewhat on one of them. Kyle Freeland is a bridge too far. I mean, Sears, I think is like I said, a back of the rotation starter with like a minuscule amount of upside, and the matchup is solid. And he's super cheap on DraftKings. That's the only reason why I like him mostly. Like I can play him for $6K like every night on DraftKings, so that makes a little bit of sense when he's in a good spot. Kyle Freeland in Coors Field, like no, that's not going to win you all the money.
Okay. Mark D says, Carty, is Del Castillo a fine enough punt? He's 2K.
Yeah, for 2K, you're fine. I'm okay with that.
Hope he hits a bomb. Yeah, all right. DK single entry, Carty, Profar or Moniak?
Moniak.
Eric, you prefer a Blue Jays mini stack or full stack DK single entry?
Mini, I think. They don't have very many good hitters. So I think a full you're including some bad hitters in the Jays stack.
Okay. Devin says Jack Caglianone hit a 466-foot, 111-mile-per-hour home run against the lefty last week. He was there, and he says it just sounds different off his bat. It does. That's a real thing. Real good hitters.
He's huge sound different in person. Yeah. Holy cow, that dude!
Huge dude. Yeah.
6'7", like 250 or something.
Oh, I didn't realize he was like
he's big.
Judge-esque. Alex says, I don't know. Yelich, Moniak, and who? I have no idea what we're talking about. We don't know. All right. We don't know.
Lexi Hall, Alex. Lexi Hall.
He wanted the Spidey bombs, but I got the rest to him. It was Yelich, Moniak, Aranda, and Gleyber Torres.
Okay.
Also,
by the way,
tell him about the likes.
Yeah, we've got more likes. We've got more votes on the poll than we have likes, which is a little disrespectful. It's like if we ask you a question, you'll answer, but you won't just do the bare minimum to say, hey, thanks for the free show. Hey, good job, team. It's disrespectful. And you're respectful people. So hit the thumbs up. That way I don't have to call you disrespectful. Negative Creep just says spicy meatball. I have no idea what that's in reference to, but hell yeah, spicy meatball. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, FanDuel GPP, Carty, your favorite low-owned pitcher from Carolina guy.
I think it's probably Sandy. Just because everyone's got questions tonight, and you get a big discount on him relative to everyone else. So if you're looking for someone low-owned, I guess him.
I'm so sad I couldn't bring Carty over to the Minaya train.
I really want to.
That's the answer. I think.
And on this slate, like it's probably fine. Like he could get 90 today. He could.
Right.
Yeah.
He could throw 80 pitches and still get
and strike out 8 guys or something. Yeah.
Steve says, hey, I love my bats. Can I play Minaya and Walter DK single entry?
Yeah. I think so. Okay. I don't love Walter. What do you think about Walter, Carty? We haven't mentioned him one time.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. All right. Andrew says the issue and why we don't have enough likes is because Dean did not do enough groveling, and I am fine to blame Dean for that as well. Dean, you got to get our likes up. We need you to grovel. I threatened the people. I insulted them. We need you to grovel. We got to figure it out together. We will get up to 500.
You had to fend off Bobby slandering Chinese food. Why do you think people didn't like the video?
He had his hands. That's when Bobby said that. People took their likes back.
Yeah, they hit it down.
Exactly. All right. Guess what? We've done the things. We've hit Canadian lock time, and that means we can clear on out of here. So for Carty and for Beimfohr and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been